apparently Cardi B's new album, Am I the Drama, was certified platinum on the day of its release. The RIAA, which decides what albums are certified platinum or gold or diamond, has already released a tweet saying this. Billboard confirmed it as well. And I was just thinking to myself, I knew that this was going to be some BS. I knew that this was going to be some BS. And I have to tell you, I'm not a person who's going to get on here and hate on somebody or say something that's not true. I'm bringing this up because it's important to point out that that headline is misleading. It gives you the impression that the album has more hype around it than it actually does have. The only reason why this album was certified platinum on its release date is because at the very end of the album, Cardi B and her label decided to attach the singles WAP and Up. Y'all remember those two? She attached them to this album. They're placed right as the last two tracks. If you listen to the album, it doesn't sound like they're supposed to be attached to the album. And the track right before them sounds like the end of the album. The reason why they were attached to this album, regardless of what she says, the reason why is to make sure that they got this very headline right here. That regardless of how the numbers did since she took 7 years off from making music, regardless of how the numbers did, that the album would be certified platinum, right? And that's important. They need those headlines because they need there to still be hype around her because she's planning on going on tour soon. She's already announced it. And they have money that they need to make, right? So if the real numbers, the new music that she put out is actually a flop, they got a safeguard to make it look like it wasn't a flop. Now, WAP and Up are already multiple platinum certified singles already. They've been out for 4 to 5 years now, right? WAP already has 9 million streaming units behind it. That's 9 times platinum. Up already has 5 million. Now, when they decide how an album is certified platinum, they do different numbers. But it already has the backing of these two massive singles that combined get her to that 1 million. So they already knew that this was going to happen. They already knew that. Oh, but every artist does this. Every artist drops a couple singles first, then they drop their album, and the album has the singles in it. That's true, but not this way. Not this way. I'm gonna give you an example that is very close to this, but also very, very different. Drake dropped the album Scorpion in 2018. Now, he had 2 lead singles before the album dropped. It was God's Plan and it was Nice for What. Both of those singles had went multiple times platinum before the album dropped. When the album dropped, the 2 singles were attached to the album. But the difference is Drake dropped those 2 singles a few months before he dropped the album. That's how it's normally done. Whenever you're getting ready to put out an album, you drop a lead single, wait a month or two, you might drop another one, wait a month or two, and then you drop your album. So everybody already knows that you have your album on your way. You're trying to promote it with 1 or 2 singles to get people talking about you, and then you go ahead and drop it. This is different. This is a 5-year difference. In fact, I'm gonna go out and say that I don't think that she ever intended for those 2 songs to be on her album. Or if she did, she stopped working on the album for 5 years. There's no connection to these 2 songs around her current level of hype. And I'm gonna give you even more proof. Earlier this year, which should have been the lead single for the album, she dropped the track Outside. Y'all remember I'm going out cause it's pop outside. I'm out. You was playing games. That one. She dropped that song. Now, WAP in its first week, mind you, it's been out for 5 years. WAP in its first week would have gotten her around 60,000 album sales. It's been out for 5 years. It's way past 60,000 now. But if you compare the hype of having 60,000 after a week to what Outside did, which is more so around 12,000, that's a fraction. That's a fraction. In other words, there is not as much hype surrounding her music. Going online and saying, oh, this album just made platinum and padding the numbers like that does not change the fact that so far, not as many people are listening to her music. Not as many people are streaming her music. Her music's not going as viral as it used to. Now, that's not to say that it won't, but so far in this headline are misleading. The crazy part about all of this is she knows this. The investors that invest in the labels, that invest in her to be able to go on tour, to be able to make more money, they all know this. They're waiting. The headline was for us. The headline that it went platinum, it was for us. It was to make us, hype about the album even more, show up even more, see if they can continue to make more money. But they're waiting to see what her songs that she just released actually do outside of the padding. And like I said in another video that I did, if she can stay focused and she can make good music, she'll be okay. But if her music underperforms, she's going to be a legacy rapper, like early. So I just wanted to clarify that certification of platinum, it was highly misleading. And I feel like it should have been noted in every article that ran with the story. But tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think, oh no, you're hating on her? You are hating on her, and it's because you don't like her, the reason why you're saying this. I don't see the big deal with it. It's not like the two singles had a different album that they were on. If she puts them on their album, it's still her music. Or do you guys agree with me that this is an obvious example of padding your music and inflating the numbers?